5:03 a.m. The fluorescent lights of the Brackenridge police station buzzed softly, casting long shadows across the scuffed linoleum floor. Officer Lisa Carter slumped in her chair, rubbing her temples as she stared at the half-finished incident report on her computer. The night shift had been quiet. Too quiet. Just a few drunken disorderlies and a misplaced call about a raccoon in a mailbox. The kind of night that made the minutes drag like hours, where even the coffee tasted stale. Then she heard it. A faint scritch, scritch, scritch at the glass door. Lisa frowned, setting down her mug. The station was empty except for her. Sergeant Mike Hughes wouldn't relieve her for another hour, and the part-timers were out on patrol. She tilted her head, listening. Probably the wind, she thought. Brackenridge was the kind of town where nothing happened, where the most exciting call last month had been Old Man Henderson's prized gnome going missing. It turned up in his own bathtub. He'd forgotten he put it there. But the sound came, again, deliberate, rhythmic, not wind, not debris. Lisa stood, her chair scraping against the floor. Her hand hovered near her belt, though she wasn't sure why. Habit, maybe. She walked to the entrance, her boots clicking against the tile. Outside, the first hints of dawn painted the sky in bruised purples and pinks, the streetlights still glowing like faded stars, and there silhouetted against the glass was a small gray tabby cat. His golden eyes locked onto hers. Lisa blinked. Strays weren't uncommon in their small town, but this one didn't look desperate. His fur was matted, his ribs slightly visible beneath his patchy coat, but his posture was purposeful. He scratched again, then let out a single piercing meow. All right, she sighed, unlocking the door. The cold morning air bit at her cheeks as she pushed it open. The cat didn't bolt inside like a scared animal. He strode in calmly, tail flicking, and sat in the center of the room as if waiting for something. Lisa crouched, holding out a hand. You lost, buddy? The cat didn't approach, just stared. Up close she could see the scars, a nick in his left ear, a thin white line across his muzzle. A fighter, or a survivor. Then after a tense silence he trotted back to the door and scratched again. Lisa's skin prickled. This wasn't normal. Cats didn't do this. They didn't walk into police stations like they had business there. They didn't look at you with eyes that seemed to understand. You want me to follow you? She asked, half expecting him to ignore her. The cat meowed. Lisa exhaled sharply. I'm really doing this. She grabbed her flashlight and radioed dispatch. Carter here. Stepping out for a minute. Got a situation. She hesitated. Might need backup. The cat was already at the curb, looking back at her. Waiting. Lisa followed. The cold air bit at Lisa's cheeks as she followed the tabby cat into the dim pre-dawn light. Her breath fogged in front of her, mingling with the lingering mist that clung to Brackenridge's empty streets. The cat moved with unsettling precision, pausing every few steps to glance back, ensuring she was still behind him. This is insane, Lisa thought, her fingers brushing the radio at her belt. She could already hear Mike's laughter when she told him she'd chased a stray cat through town at 5 a.m., but something about the animal's demeanor kept her moving. The cat led her past the shuttered bakery, its windows dark, the scent of yesterday's bread still lingering in the air. They turned down a narrow alley where the dumpsters loomed like silent sentinels. The cat's tail twitched as he stopped abruptly near an old storm drain at the edge of the parking lot. Lisa frowned. The grate was rusted, half covered in dead leaves. The cat pawed at it, then looked up at her, his golden eyes wide and unblinking. A chill ran down her spine. She knelt, shining her flashlight into the darkness. The beam cut through the shadows, revealing a tunnel slick with grime and rainwater. The smell hit her first, damp earth, rotting vegetation, and beneath it something metallic. Blood. Her stomach lurched. Hello? She called, her voice echoing unnaturally in the cramped space. No answer. Then, movement. A faint, shuddering breath. Lisa's pulse spiked. She reached for her radio, but before she could key the mic, a deep voice cut through the silence behind her. "Lisa, what the hell are you doing?" She spun to see Sergeant Mike Hughes standing at the mouth of the alley, his brow furrowed. His patrol car idled nearby, headlights cutting through the gloom. Mike crossed his arms. "You chasing strays now?" Lisa opened her mouth to respond, but the cat let out a yowl so loud it made both of them jump. The sound was raw, desperate, more like a scream than a meow. Mike's smirk faded. "What's his problem?" Lisa pointed at the drain. "I think there's someone down there." Mike's expression darkened. He stepped forward, peering into the darkness. "You sure you're not just sleep-deprived?" The cat hissed, his fur standing on end. Lisa ignored Mike and grabbed the edge of the grate. "Help me lift this." Mike hesitated, then swore under his breath and crouched beside her. The metal groaned in protest as they pried it open, the rust flaking under their fingers. Lisa's flashlight beam swept the tunnel, and then a small pale hand. Mike recoiled. Jesus Christ. Lisa's breath caught. The hand was attached to a child, a boy no older than 8, curled on his side in the filth. His clothes were soaked, his skin waxy and cold. But as the light hit his face, his eyelids fluttered weakly. Alive. Mike was already on his radio barking orders. "Dispatch, we need EMS now. Possible child in the storm drain near Maple and 3rd. Repeat, child in distress." Lisa dropped into the tunnel, her boots sinking into the muck. The boy's chest rose and fell in shallow, ragged breaths. Beside him, nestled against his body, was a small nest of shredded leaves and fabric, as if something had tried to keep him warm. The cat let out a low, mournful sound and nudged the boy's cheek. Lisa's throat tightened. She recognized him. Now Evan Reyes, the missing boy from the next county over. His face had been plastered on every news channel for days. "Evan?" she whispered, brushing mud from his forehead. His lips moved, but no sound came out. Sirens wailed in the distance. The cat pressed closer to the boy, purring weakly, as if willing him to hold on. The ambulance arrived in a whirl of flashing lights and shouted orders. Paramedics swarmed the drain, their movements sharp with practiced urgency. Lisa stood back, her uniform smeared with mud, as they carefully lifted Evan onto a stretcher. His skin was nearly translucent under the streetlights. His lips tinged blue. The cat, Oliver, refused to leave the boy's side. When a medic reached to move him, Oliver flattened his ears and hissed, his claws digging into Evan's torn shirt. "Easy," Lisa said, stepping forward. She crouched, meeting Oliver's wild golden gaze. "They're here to help." The cat's tail lashed, but after a tense moment he allowed himself to be scooped into Lisa's arms. His body trembled against her chest, his heartbeat rapid as a hummingbird's wings. "Christ," muttered Harris, the lead EMT, as he checked Evan's pulse. "How long was he down there?" 3 days, Lisa said. The missing posters flashed in her mind. Evan's gap-toothed smile, the desperate plea from his mother. He must have fallen in after he wandered off. Harris shook his head, adjusting the oxygen mask over Evan's face. Hypothermia, dehydration, probable broken wrist. Kid's lucky to be alive. Not luck, Lisa thought, glancing at Oliver. The cat stared fixedly at Evan, his pupils wide and black. As the paramedics loaded the stretcher into the ambulance, Oliver twisted in Lisa's grip with a sharp cry. He lunged, but she held him fast. "Hey!" The cat's claws pricked her skin. His entire body was rigid, his gaze locked on the ambulance doors as they swung shut. Lisa's throat tightened. She stroked Oliver's matted fur. "You can see him soon," she murmured. "I promise." Oliver went still, his ears twitching. Then, with a shuddering exhale, he slumped against her. At the hospital, the fluorescent lights of Brackenridge General buzzed overhead, too bright after the pre-dawn gloom. Lisa sat in the waiting room, Oliver curled in her lap while Mike paced nearby. "You should have let animal control take him," Mike said, eyeing the cat. Lisa shook her head. "He's not just some stray." Before Mike could argue, the doors burst open. A woman with tear-streaked cheeks and a crumpled flannel shirt rushed in, Maria Reyes, Evan's mother. Her gaze darted wildly until it landed on Lisa. "My son, stable," Lisa said quickly, standing. "They're warming him up now. He's going to be okay." Maria swayed, her knees buckling. Mike caught her elbow, guiding her to a chair. Then she saw Oliver. Her breath hitched. "Oliver?" The cat perked up, leaping from Lisa's arms to Maria's lap. He butted his head against her trembling hands, purring loudly. Maria buried her fingers in his fur, her shoulders shaking. "You found him," she whispered. "You found Evan." Lisa exchanged a glance with Mike. Maria looked up, her eyes red-rimmed but fierce. "Evan always said Oliver was special, that his father sent him to watch over us." Lisa hesitated. "His father?" Maria's voice cracked. "My husband, Javier. He died 2 years ago, a car accident." She stroked Oliver's head. "This little guy showed up at our door the day after the funeral. Javier had always loved cats. Evan swore it was a sign." Oliver nuzzled Maria's palm, his purr deepening. A nurse appeared. "Mrs. Reyes, Evan's awake. He's asking for Oliver." Maria stood, cradling the cat like something precious. She paused, turning back to Lisa. "Thank you," she said softly, "for following him." Lisa nodded, her chest aching. As Maria disappeared down the hall, Mike exhaled heavily. "Well, guess we've got ourselves a feline hero." Lisa watched the empty doorway, Oliver's golden eyes lingering in her mind. Some things she decided couldn't be explained, and maybe that was okay. The hospital room was too bright, too sterile. Evan Reyes lay, cocooned in heated blankets, an IV taped to his thin arm. His eyelids fluttered as Maria carried Oliver into the room. "Oh, Oliver," Evan rasped, his voice raw from disuse. The cat sprang from Maria's arms, landing lightly on the bed. He butted his head against Evan's chin, purring so fiercely the boy's chest vibrated with it. Evan buried his fingers in Oliver's, matted fur, his shoulders shaking with silent sobs. Lisa lingered in the doorway, unsure if she should intrude. But Maria waved her in, tears glistening on her cheeks. The doctor, a weary-eyed woman with a stethoscope around her neck, checked Evan's vitals. "Remarkable recovery," she murmured. "For 3 days without food or water in those temperatures." She trailed off, shaking her head. Evan's grip tightened on Oliver. "He brought me water," he whispered. The room went still. Lisa leaned forward. "What do you mean, Evan?" The boy nuzzled Oliver's head. "In the dark place. He brought me drinks." Maria made a soft, wounded sound. The doctor's pen paused over her clipboard. Lisa crouched by the bed. "Can you tell us what happened?" Evan's breath hitched. "I was chasing a butterfly. It was real pretty, blue and black like the sky at night. Then I fell." His fingers traced Oliver's scarred ear. "It hurt so bad and I couldn't climb out. I called and called, but nobody came." Oliver licked Evan's wrist where the IV entered, his sandpaper tongue gentle on the bruised skin. "Then Oliver found me." Evan's eyes grew distant. "At first I thought I dreamed him, but he curled up right here." He patted his chest, "and kept me warm. And when I got real thirsty, he left and came back with his fur all wet. He let me drink from it." Maria covered her mouth. The doctor's eyebrows shot up. Lisa's skin prickled. Cats didn't do that. They didn't understand human needs like that. Evan continued. "He brought me food too, a dead mouse." He made a face. "I didn't eat it, but he tried." Oliver meowed softly, as if offended. The doctor cleared her throat. "Children in traumatic situations sometimes imagine—" "I didn't imagine." Evan sat up straighter, wincing. "He saved me. He went to get help when I got too sleepy." His small hand found Lisa's. "You came, just like he promised." Lisa's breath caught. She hadn't told Evan about Oliver leading her to the drain. Across the room, Mike shifted uncomfortably. "Kid's confused, probably hallucinated from the—" Lisa shot him a look. She turned back to Evan. "Oliver's a very special cat, isn't he? Evan nodded solemnly. Daddy sent him. He told me in my dream last night. Daddy said Oliver would always find me no matter where I got lost. Maria made a choked sound and rushed forward, gathering both Evan and Oliver into a fierce hug. Oliver tolerated the embrace for exactly 3 seconds before squirming free, but stayed pressed against Evan's side. The doctor exchanged a look with Lisa. We'll need to monitor him for... Officer Carter? A nurse appeared in the doorway. There's, situation in the lobby. Lisa followed her to find a crowd of reporters clustered around the reception desk, cameras flashing. A perky blonde from Channel 6 spotted Lisa and zeroed in. Officer, is it true a cat led you to the missing boy? Was it some kind of psychic connection? Lisa blinked. How did you... Dispatch scanner, Mike muttered behind her. Damn vultures. The questions came rapid fire. Was the cat trained? Did it really bring the boy food and water? Is there truth to rumors this is a ghost cat? Lisa held up her hands. All I can say is that an animal's actions helped locate Evan Reyes. Now, if you'll excuse us. A commotion at the elevator cut her off. A tall man in a crisp suit pushed through, followed by a woman with a microphone. Lisa recognized him instantly. Mayor Hendricks. Officer Carter, he boomed, taking her hand in a firm shake. I hear we have a hometown hero. His smile didn't reach his eyes. This is exactly the positive story Brackenridge needs after the unpleasantness last summer. Lisa stiffened. He meant the corruption scandal that nearly unseated him. The Channel 6 reporter thrust her microphone forward. Mr. Mayor, will the city honor this heroic cat? Hendricks' grin widened. Why, I'm thinking a parade. Brackenridge's Miracle Mouser. The cameras ate it up. Mike leaned close to Lisa. He's gonna milk this for all it's worth. Lisa watched the spectacle with growing unease. Oliver wasn't some mascot, he was something else, something she couldn't explain. And as the mayor announced plans for a Feline Hero Award ceremony, all Lisa could think was how Oliver's golden eyes had gleamed in the station doorway, like he'd known exactly what he was doing, like it had all been part of some unseen plan. The Brackenridge Community Center buzzed with an energy the town hadn't seen since the annual Pumpkin Festival. Balloons in the shape of mice and cats bobbed from the ceiling, and a massive banner proclaimed, "Honoring our hero, Oliver the Miracle Cat," in glittering letters. Lisa adjusted her dress uniform collar for the 3rd time, scanning the crowd. Every folding chair was filled. Locals, news crews, even a film crew from one of those viral animal video channels. Mayor Hendricks held court near the podium, shaking hands with exaggerated enthusiasm. Never thought I'd see the day, Mike muttered, beside her, tugging at his tie. We're throwing a party for a damn cat. Maria Reyes sat in the front row. Evan perched on her lap, both looking overwhelmed. Between them, Oliver sat stiffly on a velvet cushion, his tail twitching. His golden eyes darted around the room, ears flattening as a toddler squealed nearby. Lisa knelt beside them. How's he holding up? Maria smoothed Oliver's fur. Not happy. He tried to bolt twice already. Evan hugged the cat tighter. He doesn't like loud noises. As if on cue, the mayor tapped the microphone, sending a screech of feedback through the room. Oliver's fur stood on end. Ladies and gentlemen, Hendricks boomed, what a perfect day to celebrate our very own feline hero. The crowd chuckled obligingly. A camera flash went off near Oliver's face and he recoiled, claws pricking Evan's legs. Lisa moved forward instinctively. Sir, maybe keep the flashes to a minimum. But Hendricks was in full campaign mode. This remarkable animal represents the very best of Brackenridge, bravery, compassion, and let's not forget the fine police work that... Oliver hissed. The sound cut through the mayor's speech like a knife. The cat's ears were flat against his skull, his body low to the cushion. Hendricks laughed nervously. Now, no need for catitude. Another flash. Oliver yowled. A sound so human it raised goosebumps on Lisa's arms. And bolted. Chaos erupted. Evan cried out as Oliver leapt from his lap. The cat zigzagged through grasping hands, knocking over a tower of cupcakes, before disappearing behind the stage curtains. Evan rushed forward, tears streaking his cheeks. "I'm sorry, Oliver, I didn't know it would be so scary." The cat's tension eased slightly at the boy's voice. He allowed Evan to gather him up, though his claws remained unsheathed, gripping the boy's shirt. Maria touched Lisa's arm. "We need to get him out of here," Lisa nodded. "Back exit, I'll distract the mayor." But as they turned, a new voice spoke from the shadows. "That cat doesn't belong to you." An elderly woman stepped into the dim light, her silver hair pulled into a severe bun. She wore an outdated floral dress and carried a cane with a cat's head carved into the handle. Her milky left eye tracked slightly behind the right as she focused on Oliver. Maria pulled Evan closer. "Excuse me?" The woman's wrinkled lips curled. "That's Mr. Tibbs. He was my Javier's cat first." Lisa's spine tingled. Javier, Maria's late husband. Maria went pale. "That's impossible. Oliver came to us after Javier died in that car crash?" The old woman chuckled darkly. "Oh, my dear, you really don't know anything, do you?" Behind them, the mayor's voice droned on, oblivious to the confrontation unfolding backstage. Oliver growled low in his throat, his gaze locked on the woman. Lisa stepped between them. "Ma'am, I think you should—" The woman raised her cane, pointing, the carved head at Oliver. "That creature isn't what you think. Javier knew, that's why he—" A stack of chairs crashed down nearby, making them all jump. When Lisa turned back, the woman was gone. Only the faint scent of lavender and something earthier lingering in the air. Oliver went utterly still in Evan's arms, his golden eyes fixed on the spot where she'd stood. Maria trembled. "What the hell was that?" Lisa's radio crackled, Mike calling for backup with the unruly crowd, but her attention stayed on Oliver, whose gaze had shifted to meet hers with an intelligence that chilled her to the bone. In that moment, she knew two things with absolute certainty. That woman knew Oliver's secret. And whatever Oliver truly was, it wasn't just a cat. Evan Reyes woke screaming. It was the same nightmare again. The darkness, the cold, the ache of hunger so deep he thought his bones might crack from it. But this time there was something new. The scent of lavender and earth, the tap-tap-tap of a cane on concrete, and a voice like rusted hinges whispering, "He was never yours to keep." Across the room, Oliver's head snapped up, golden eyes glowing, in the dark. Evan's breath came in ragged gulps as the cat leaped onto his bed, pressing paws against his heaving chest. Oliver's purr rumbled through him, steady as a heartbeat, but Evan could feel the tension in his small body, the way his claws pricked through the pajama fabric like he was ready to fight. "Oliver," Evan choked out, tangling his fingers in the cat's fur. "Who was that lady?" The cat went still, because Evan knew, somehow, deep in that place where lost memories curl up to sleep. He knew Oliver understood the question. And for the first time since the drain, since the darkness, since the miracle, Oliver looked afraid.